There's this small streamer that goes by the name of Pokimane, and Pokimane is world famous for selling the best tasting cookies in the world for an extremely fair price.
If you're a broke boy, just say so.
Pokimane is also known for being one of the top Valorant players in the world, reaching the rank of immortal. Wait a minute. Is that true? Holy sh**. Today we're getting to the bottom of this by reviewing some of her gameplay and answer the question, is Pokimane actually good? Or did she sell off some of that cookie assets to be able to fund some of the best boosters and players in the world to help her out? Let's deep dive this footage and find out for ourselves. Oh sh**. Maybe.
One market.
Oh,
Market.
damn, she slaps.
Sky or B? And what B? There's 3 B.
Can you break the wall though?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a common mistake that a lot of solo players make, and it's just throwing the dart in willy-nilly. What's the point? What are we trying to do with the dart? So many times I see students do this where it's like they're not executing with the dart, but they're throwing the dart just because. And this is definitely one of those situations where it's like, maybe Poki's seen someone throw a dart at the beginning of the round. It's like, oh, they just throw darts here, let's just do that. What's the intention behind it? It's not like we don't already know that players are going to be there. So we're not revealing anyone, we're not setting anyone up, we're not really doing a alt combination here or anything along those lines. There's really no function for this dart other than to say, hey, there's someone stairs, which we already know. Universally, we should be thinking to ourselves 2-1-2, right? Or a 1-3 or 1-1-3 or something along those lines. So what function does this serve? And I'm willing to bet that there really wasn't any thought process in this situation, which is indicative, again, of a lower ranked player.
Probably shouldn't have.
The rotation should be coming in right now, so we are kind of ready. The cross replacement's a little bit off
Look, everybody.
in situation, but not terrible.
One enemy remaining.
Deep spawn last.
And now the ultimate question, how do we play?
I'm gonna play time.
Doors close them.
There we go. Now this is a sign of a higher ranked player, for sure. So many players would decide to go forward and try to challenge a race before they even got into the space. Playing time is more than enough right here, guarantees a round win. Love it. A little early with this dart again. I feel like now is the time to throw the dart to really try to slow them down.
Pinging bomb.
Jen.
Okay, so a small positioning error. Why go to hell if your teammate's in A main? There's really no need. You have 2 shock darts as well. You can totally just play off of that.
Nice.
Nice job.
And then singling out a 1v1 by going into that smoke while you have 2 active shock darts and you have control of hell and they have to come towards you. So this was a little bit of an iffy play. Forcing the ones is definitely going to create problems for Poki in the future, especially if they're not ready for a fight.
You know?
Don't mind the plant here. 4v3 situation, should not be peeking, taking our time. We have dart in 3 seconds. This is too aggressive, and she ends up getting punished for it again. The dart is super important here, and when you're thinking about a bigger spectrum of what it is that you can and can't do, on Ascent, the dart is so impactful, especially in the position where you're in. We like to separate this bomb site into 3 sections. We have section 1 right here, section 2, and section 3, separated by this number. So if I'm Poki right now, and I have my dart ready and willing to go, I know that all of these walls are highly spammable and easy to be able to get frags through. Simply fall back, dart into a section that they're not expecting to be into, get a couple scans off, get the spams going, you win the round off that. Forcing a fight in this situation creates an opportunity now for our teammates to be in a clutchable situation that could lead to the other team winning. It's so important to have utility fights supersede dry fights wherever possible. Paying attention to when your dart is respawning is a very big key when you're Sova. Always remembering that smokes are not your friend when you're against a Nico.
This is okay. Let me wait after.
Care flank.
A normal situation here to expect. They're going to be pushing through CT there. We just need to wait for a few seconds. And at this point, I would say going back into Boathouse is more than okay, especially with the ult. Just locks down the round. B main is a fine spot as well. I noticed that Poki seems to naturally fall into this position quite regularly, and it seems as though she's being caught out now. having done this in the pistol round as well. So it's almost like a tendency, and a lot of players will have these tendencies where they're like, I feel comfortable in this spot, so I'm going to go here, without taking into consideration what kind of utility you have remaining, what ult you're playing from, and how to really lock down the round. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with the play that we're doing here. It's just not advantageous for the situation that we have, and you might as well play to your advantage at all times. I would prefer to see Pokimane play towards B main, locking down that bomb plant, or playing towards Boathouse in this situation. There's really no need to force a fight against an eco player or eco team.
Nice. Let's work it towards it. One more. I'm smoking that for you, Joe.
I'm impressed. Girl's got some skills. I wasn't expecting this, I'll be honest with you. I was not expecting this. That's some good shots. Good util usage.
Don't think so.
Not bad at all. This is a little dangerous. Okay, last one is defender spawn. We were able to hear that call out. That's another really good key point, chat, is make sure that you have your character voice comms on. If you heard that back, you could hear the player actually, or the character actually calling this out. Listen again. Someone's in defender spawn, so right away, you know where they are. And so often that I hear students say, well, I can't do well because my teammates don't communicate. You don't need to have your teammates communicate, just listen to the voice comms. It's more than enough from the character that you'll be able to get it. Again, learning how to read the mini-map and when to flick your eyes, all this kind of stuff and this information helps you so much with ranking up.
Deploying drone.
Good hesitation on the push out, knowing it's an op.
Oh no. Oh, yep.
Good hesitation on that. A lot of students that I've coached would have swung right away,
I'm down to leave,
regardless of the fact that they had an op or not. So, pretty good. So this is a little dangerous.
Damn it. 80 Sage.
Not the greatest fight. Let's take a look and see what happened. So first of all, the smoke right here does not cover the line onto Cat. So already, if she's aware of this, you could get shot in the ass right here. So if she is aware of it, it would make her a little bit more uncomfortable taking these fights. If she gets close to this angle, she's peeking it from a pretty close fight. So this first on angle right here is going to be a little bit rough for her. Now as she starts scaling up a little bit more, she doesn't really have a lot of information of what's going on. The big factor here is that there's a minute and 4 seconds, and so often do I see in Immortal, Ascendant, and even below, players just rushing things. Players just rushing into bomb sites, feeling like they have no time to react or do things. You have a lot of time. It's an eternity. A minute and 4 is forever. So being able to jump spot, peek in and out, get some information before you go in, maybe even shock dart this corner would probably be the best move right now for Poki to be able to clear this out as a threat so that you could work up there. I have nothing wrong with her going up and fighting Catwalk here, but definitely taking the time to make sure that everything is good before you decide to move forward, rather than just going right in, would be the best move here.
Damn it.
I have smoke in a.
I don't even know.
Okay, I often talk about post-plant positioning on a ascent, and this right here is the biggest no-no position you could possibly be. This spot here could be easily jumped down from heaven. It could be easily flanked on from a broken door. So as soon as that door breaks right away, you're not in the driver's seat anymore. Immediately in a post-plant, my highest recommendation is to go into Hell or to go into A main. Now with no KO being able to molly out Hell is the most obvious position right now, considering that we're 2 HP and we really cannot escape to A main. So this is the most beneficial position to be in this situation. I also want to draw your attention to the fact that there's currently no controller available on their team. Obviously they did have a clove at one point, so maybe there might be a smoke that will be dropped here and there. But regardless of that fact, playing a crossfire from A main and from Hell would be the best move they can possibly do right here, as it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to drop down and clear out all of Hell while still being able to expose themselves to an A main peek out as well. So those are the spots that you usually want to be going to in this situation, and if you stay here, oftentimes you will get punished. And now all three of us are in this spot, so this is going to be really rough to be able to defend, especially in a 3v4 situation with that coming out. So overall, you're probably just going to get overwhelmed in the situation.
2 heaven, 1 site.
Not a bad move to try to make something happen, but as soon as you go in this position, again, you lose that post plant. Another reason to look at these things is take a look at the alts and say, well, they do have a res here, so technically it is a 3v4 situation. So being in this spot, waiting for them to jump all over us, not the best move here from post plan. To add more insult to injury when it comes to this position, you got to consider the fact that Odins are a big factor on this map as well, especially on defense. If the opposing Sova or player in B site does have that Odin, this whole line right here is oftentimes spammed down just for the sake of it. So playing this position overall is just a big no-no.
Area.
When it comes to darts, I always talk about purpose. In this situation, we throw a dart right here for no real apparent reason, and the jet doesn't even play off of it. So what does it really get us? It does get us some early information potentially, but it is also deep. So this dart might not even scan anyone going into A main late. So it could just be dodged, could be smoked out. It's kind of a useless dart at this point. So the aggressive into catwalk, this is definitely a risky spot where they could explode out of the smoke into Poki here. So it should be insight with the door closed. And we got to be aware that there could be one more player in this position. So let's see how the crosshair placement's going right here as we're starting to move up.
I can smoke in a sec.
Last player
Club Gen.
standing.
Raise on jump code.
My dart whiffed?
Jet 48.
Doesn't surprise me how you're throwing them.
All over sight.
Okay, so this right here is an example of mass protocol, and it's something that I talk about all the time. How do you frag in Valorant? It's all through mass. Mass is the breakdown. Move, aim, stand still, and shoot. This is how you get the best accuracy and the most consistent aim in Valorant. So if we watch how Poki decides to take this particular fight right here, Poki walks up to this position, peeks it first of all in a diagonal peek, which is a big no-no. Every time you peek in a diagonal, you end up just having inaccuracy. A lot of times your movement error is going to be all over the place. So we miss the first shot, and then instead of deciding to continue to move, Poki decides to stand still and try to adjust. So her reaction here is, when she decides to take this fight, is not move, aim, stand still, shoot. She moves, she stands still, she moves, she stands still, she shoots, and somewhere along the line, she decides to aim. So a lot of what happens here, if you have the breakdown, it's MSSA. So as soon as you mess this up in any way, shape, or form, in terms of the move, aim, stand still, shoot, if you don't keep that same pattern going, you end up having patterns like this, and that creates inconsistency in your gameplay. So you want to be going into a deathmatch and practice this regularly with really good reps, and that will fix a lot of the issues that you're dealing with in game, as well as what would fix Pokimane's issue right here.
And see?
Last player standing.
Rough crosshair placement here. Really no intention behind this peak, and that's definitely starting to show some and speak some volumes into how Pokimane likes to play this game. So as we're coming around, it's a little bit lazy. Watch this crosshair placement as this slow orb starts to come down. So it picks up right away, aiming for Shack, going way too high into this box, no intention behind this peak, and swinging multiple angles at once. And now we're really having a situation where we have to flick. So if you're good at aim lobs, that's always great to be able to have that flick option. But in reality, we should have intention, peek these things with intention, going slow, slicing the pie across, and then by the time you get to this position right here, you already should have in your head from playing hours and hours where that crosshair needs to be able to get any kind of damage off here. When we're in eco, our mentality is bare ass minimum. What we're trying to do is get frags, do some damage, maybe prevent the plant if we can, get some orbs if you can, anything that you can get in small victories to be able to help us in the following round to be able to win those rounds. So in this situation here, we should be taking our time, making sure that we get at least one hit on the Sage, and because we rush this peak, we end up falling victim to the Sage here like this. Okay. I don't agree with the positioning decision being here, but for that reason. So the first kill is a miracle on ice. Staying here after that first kill is high greed. And really at this point, you just take the money and run, take the numbers and run. We should be falling back towards Pizza here, staying alive, waiting for Zen to have a smoke active, and then getting out of the situation. Sticking around here causes a big problem. It's something I see universally in all ranks. You're just overstaying your welcome. And just like you guys, Pokimane is also going to eat it here because of that.
I almost got him. Raise mid.
Now, these positions are not terrible if you have a get out of jail free card. Let's say you have Yori, let's say you have Chamber, you have Jet, you have Reyna. Any one of these agents can easily get you out of position after you've gotten one kill in an off angle. So going into an aggressive position is allowed, but again, you need to ask yourself, do I need to in these situations? D-I-N-T. And most often than not, if you've got frags in your favor, there's really no need to challenge for any more. Take the value and get out. Drone to re-aggress for stage 2 here would be perfect. Once we clear this out. Love this. Now we drone. That should be a free kill. Nice. Good job. Not bad.
Sage is out.
Okay.
Lane.
Austin's out lane.
I'm not against everything that we did here. The second kill, we could have chilled on. We didn't necessarily have to go for that. But the first kill, beautiful work. Throws a drone out, gets that guaranteed. We don't even have to go for this fight because our teammate, Emperor and Slug, could actually spam them through the walls here. So it's not necessary, but a great kill nonetheless. So now we're in a 5v3 situation. The big win condition here is also our KJ, which unfortunately is pushed up all the way through here. So we can't really play off of KJ ult. That being said, look at where Poki is looking. I'm very, very impressed by this. Clearly taking a look at the minimap, seeing what's happening, and spamming through the smoke accordingly. So as soon as this fight goes on over here with KJ, it's easy for them to identify what's going on, easy for Poki to identify what's going on, seeing that this is going towards them as well. Again, all of this is reactionary and perfect played off of the minimap. So if Poki can do it, certainly you guys in lower ranks can as well. It's little skills like this that you have to pick up if you want to get to these ranks, for sure. So clearly, I mean, I gotta say, I'm very impressed with what I've been seeing. Either Poki's been working with a lot of high-level players and learning how to do this, or she's put the hours in. And either way, you can't take anything away from her. It's quite impressive to watch.
They're detained both.
Or, yeah, just a few. GG, guys.
Good job.
So now that you've seen the evidence, is Pokimane immortal or boosted? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.